Boruto episode 68, Super Cho-Cho Kiss Mode. Part 2 of the mini, filler Cho-Cho arc. I assume the third part is going to be the final episode. I hope I'm right, because admittedly I just want them to get, even though technically I haven't read the manga, you can tell when it's filler. Like, I know this isn't in the manga, so I'm waiting. I'm ready for them to just get to the next official arc. But for now, we did admittedly have another funny episode. I did enjoy it. They went full on absolute douchebag mode with the actor, and they showed some really weird stuff where it's like the actress kind of surprised everybody, where it's like, oh, she's doing her thing and she's actually leaving the show and moving on to better opportunities. But the way it happened was so weird, and it wasn't like an official announcement, and she said it, and it was really low key, but also just the way they were talking about it seemed way too casual for that to be normal. It was almost like she was the one threatening him, and that's why, or he was the one threatening her, and that's why she was kind of just like playing it off, because it's something even crazier. Like, clearly he shows, even though it's like in a douchey way with Cho-Cho, but he shows he has like ulterior motives in certain regards. So it's just a weird little thing, and they even have I believe it was Boruto that actually mentioned it. It was like, it's kind of a weird air right now. I was like, this is just super weird the way they're doing it, and she seems so casual about it. And Sadara mentions like, she normally seems super mean, but I guess she can be humble in certain ways as well. But it all seems super weird. So I'm like, is he somehow involved in it? Maybe that's not even a part of them having the death threats on them. Maybe that could just be its own thing with him, of course, being a douchebag. And that could be totally separate, and we find out, both things by the end. But it was super odd. I was like, that's a really weird thing. And it just, happened out of nowhere. And honestly, I can't tell if they're doing a movie or a TV show. Like, the whole episode, I was like, I thought this was a movie. And then with the way they do certain stuff, and I figure it must be a movie, but it's like, they made it seem like the actor, I guess it was just that team of people, always seem to work with the actor, because it's like, oh, he always wants to throw in a kissing scene. I'm like, so is this a show or is this a movie? And I figured it was a movie, but I don't know. Like, just watching the whole thing, I'm like, it could be both. Yeah, because they're always done on sets. But just the way they were going through it, it was like, all right, that should be interesting. And also the way the woman quit, that made it seem like it was a show as well, where it was like, yeah, I'm kind of quitting the show, moving on to better things. So it must have been a show. Like, she'd be quitting the movie otherwise. Like, in the middle of the movie, she'd be quitting. So it must be a show. But the way it was all handled was definitely interesting. Like I said, the funny elements was Cho-Cho, of course, still hiding the fact that she's actually, chubbier, and getting closer and closer. And it was funny every time. Like, every time they were just about to kiss, and at first it was Inojin, and I really thought she was gonna just mess him up. And it's Inojin, like, it doesn't seem like true love, does it? And then that, like, cuts the whole scene. It's like, oh, that confirms it. It's just not really that romantic. So we're going to cut this scene. It's like, okay, I guess that's it. And it's like, she's like, I was right there. And then, of course, when they're running from all the women and everything, and they're in the locker and they're about to kiss, and then Mitsuki is like, oh, hey, or it was either Mitsuki or Sadara. I think it was Sadara the second time, and then the third time was Mitsuki, where he came to get the dress, and she just walked out, and it looked like she actually tried to throw the punch on him. So it was just funny. Like, every time that happened, it was just like the way she looked, like her actual face was just super funny. So certainly enjoyed that. All in all, like I said, just like with the last episode, I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I guess not as surprised, because I thought the first one was good. So I was hoping that this would be that way. Still not a lot of action. Pretty much no action. It was actually less action in this than it was in the last one. It was pretty much all comedy. And then like the, dramatic moment at the very end where she rebounds and then like destroys the dress and everything. And the guy doesn't recognize her, and she, stops Sadara, which I would have loved it if she let Sadara just punch the dude. If they teamed up and punched him, he would have been dead, just like the guy in the last episode. If they teamed up, that guy would have been toast. That actor there would be no smiling. He'd be dead. But it was like, okay, Cho-Cho made her decision, and it seems like she's sticking with the ruse. And I assume it's basically, it's just generic storytelling, but I assume that in the last episode, it will come out that she, Skinny is, she's the same person, the chubby girl. So we'll see how that plays out. And I would love it if she basically does the rebound and hits him with some partial expansion, just socks him straight in his face. Or, like maybe his chest, because if she hits him in the face once again, he would die. But, a fake character. I don't care about the guy, but she's not going to murder him. So I'm sure that'll happen in the next episode. We'll see how that plays out. Depending on what they end up doing, considering how this episode went, where it had nothing to do with the death threats, there could be a couple more episodes, because I was like, all right, well, not much has really happened just yet. And like the only thing they really hint towards in this episode is that it might be a tougher mission than they were initially expecting. Like Konohamaru and the girl's name, who I swear I can never freaking remember, Tonadi, or something like that, Tonade maybe. They're like, all right, well, it seems like it's actually going to be tougher than the kids can actually handle, and that's pretty much it. Like they follow the path out of the hole, and then that was it. And it was like, all right, so it's really tough. No answers. We still don't know any theories or anything. Like the only thing they have is the woman quitting, and that just how awkward that scene was. It made it seem like maybe the guy could have possibly been involved. And that's really it. Everything else is just like, all right, well, it was just the Cho-Cho stuff, which makes sense. Obviously, Cho-Cho's name is like in the title of the episode. So it makes sense that it's not really focusing that much on the actual, probably what we would want it to normally focus on, which is, the action and the mystery, like what's going to happen and how are they going to get out of this situation. But considering they didn't really touch on it like at all outside of that little point, I feel like that's what makes it seem like this could go beyond 3 episodes, because we would need some explanation. Granted, they could easily shoot through it in the next episode. It's not that difficult. I mean, it's just a filler arc. It doesn't have to. There's no grand scale here. It could easily be done in the next episode. So it could end next week. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I am looking forward to how this does play out. I definitely want to see more action, considering this one had even less action than the last episode. I would love for the next episode, which seems like it will, based on the one clip of Cho-Cho where she's like in the forest, and they're like on comms and stuff. I'm like, all right, they must be, I assume they're either tracking down the person or they're doing an actual outside shot and not on the set, which means that it makes it easier for someone to actually attack them because they're out in the open. So I assume we'll see some action during that segment, or somewhere around there we're gonna get some action, hopefully in the next episode. But still enjoyed this one, thought it was funny. I'm excited to see honestly where they go with the Cho-Cho thing. I like her character. I always have. I thought she was a pretty cool character, and she got a bit of focus during Satoru's arc when they redid the manga one shot that they did for Satoru's character. So Cho-Cho got some love there, and then this is her kind of doing her butterfly mode as well. So maybe we'll actually see her get to control that fully, where she gets the power as well as the visual. So maybe we'll get to see that by the end. But either way, I'm looking forward to how this one's going to play out. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And of course, with what they did in this episode with the actor seeing Cho-Cho in her normal state and just being an absolute douchebag about it. How do you think she's going to actually confront him whenever it gets to the final episode? It may not be in the next one, but whenever it ends, they're going to have that confrontation. Like, once again, that's just super generic storytelling. It kind of has to happen. So I'd love to know your predictions. How is that sequence going to play out when Cho-Cho actually ends up confronting the actor? And like I said, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.